So in this topic of memory, we've talked about DIMM and SODIMM, DDR3, DDR4 and DDR5, but there's still one type of terminology that we haven't mentioned, and that is DRAM and SRAM, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What's up people, I'm Milan and welcome back to Physitech. Let's start with the definitions. Obviously, the terms DRAM and SRAM are acronyms. DRAM stands for Dynamic Random Access Memory, while SRAM stands for Static Random Access Memory. And as the name suggests, DRAM is dynamic, meaning it's characterized by constant change. Anything dynamic changes all the time. SRAM, on the other hand, is static, meaning it lacks movement and action. It just stays there, and that's the main difference between the two. DRAM, or dynamic RAM, stores each bit of data in a memory cell that contains one transistor and one capacitor. Now these storage cells have to be refreshed constantly, and I'm talking every millisecond, and in exchange you get to have high performance and high capacity. Despite all this, once you cut power off of DRAM, anything stored on it gets lost. It's so volatile, and that's why it needs to be refreshed every millisecond. But it's not like it's useless, because the only work it does is to complete the task at hand and nothing more. There are a few types of DRAM, namely SDRAM, DDR-SDRAM, ECC-DRAM, and the DDR type. SDRAM stands for synchronized DRAM. It improves performance through its pins, which sync up with the data connection between the main memory and the microprocessor. DDR-SDRAM has twice the data transmission frequency than normal SDRAM, hence the name DDR, standing for double data rate. ECC-DRAM has an error correcting code, so it finds corrupted data and fixes it sometimes. Moving on to SRAM, it only uses transistors but needs a couple of them for one cell. It has a higher performance than DRAM and does not need to refresh constantly every time. Performance and reliability is good, and when it's idle, it consumes a lot less power. It's mostly used as cache memory for the CPU. There are other differences between DRAM and SRAM, with the first being SRAM is an on-chip memory while DRAM is an off-chip memory. This gives SRAM a lower access time than DRAM and also making it faster. DRAM is also available in larger storage capacity than SRAM. SRAM is more expensive than DRAM, making DRAM less costlier. SRAM consumes more power since it requires a constant power supply, while DRAM consumes less power because information is stored in the capacitor. SRAM contains cache memory, while DRAM contains the main memory. And finally, SRAM has a lower packaging density as compared to DRAM. With all this, all you need to keep in mind is that both DRAM and SRAM are vital for the functionality of your computer. Anyways, that's all for today. I'm Milan and this is Physitech. See you next time. Peace. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.